Most of the LINQ queries in your application are going to look something like this. Here I have a list of people defined as an example, and then here's my static query. You can see that the where clause, the order by clause are completely static. They're in place and they're not very flexible. The first level of making this more dynamic will be to take something like this age number, and instead of having a fixed number 18, we would have a variable, and then we could pass that variable into a method and then make it a bit more flexible about the filtering that we perform. But we want a bit more flexibility than that. So let's go ahead and make a dynamic version of the same sort of query. We're going to use two variables, check age. This is going to determine if we have a where clause or not. And then we're going to have an ordering enumeration, and that will determine which column we're going to sort by. And it's very common in a user application that the user can click on different columns in order to change the ordering. And maybe the check by age is the equivalent of adding a filtering. So to implement this, we start off with our people collection, and we're going to get the IEnumerable interface. If you're using Entity Framework and people was a data set, for example, a DB set from your Entity Framework, then this will be an iQueryable. But apart from that, it's really the same thing. So our first check, if we're going to check the age, then we need to take our IEnumerable and we'll add a link to objects query, which checks the age, and it overwrites the IEnumerable with the new one. Slightly more interesting is the ordering. So in this case, we're going to use a switch, and depending on which column the user has requested, we're going to add an order by, and we're going to use the appropriate property as the ordering for the return. And we have to add a default in case they provide a value that's invalid. Finally, we take this and convert it to a list, and then we can use the list and just output that to the output window so we can check if it works or not. So we're not going to check the age, so we expect to get all the results, and we're going to order it by country. Let's see how that works. Here we go. We have all four person objects output, and we can see here that it is indeed in country order. So let's just change this. We're going to add check by age to true. So now we should only get 3 entries returned. And now let's order it by the age. Again, let's run. And this time we can see we only have 3 entries because the person that's 18 was excluded, and they are ordered by age. So our dynamic query is working as expected. This is only a simple example, but you can see how that you can take a query and then slowly build up by adding more and more clauses as you go along, and therefore get something very flexible, which therefore has maximum performance when you run. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If so, hit the like button, and I will see you next time. Happy coding.